God says you've been fooled long enough, and heaven has watched it all unfold in silence, not because God ignored you, but because He was letting every hidden thing crawl into the light by its own shadow. There are moments in life when you think you're seeing the full picture, when you believe you understand someone's intentions, loyalty, or affection. But God sees what you don't see, hears what you don't hear, and knows what you could never imagine. And today, something shifts. Today is the day the mask comes off. Today the truth begins to breathe. For a long time, you questioned yourself instead of questioning Him. You kept wondering if you were overreacting, if you were imagining the tension behind His words, the secretiveness in His actions, the things He dismissed as nothing when your spirit knew they were something. You kept feeling that nudge, that quiet inner warning that wouldn't let you rest. You kept feeling the discomfort that rose every time He spoke too sweetly, too confidently, or too strategically. But every time the truth tried to whisper, He tried to drown it in excuses, charm, or manipulation. God watched every moment you doubted your own intuition. He saw how deeply you wanted to believe the best. He saw how hard you tried to give grace, how far you stretched yourself to keep peace, how long you tolerated uncertainty because you cared more about relationships than you cared about being right. And God honored that, your compassion, your loyalty, your sincerity. But He also saw something else, how someone took advantage of that goodness. How someone wrapped their intentions so tightly under layers of false humility and false concern that you couldn't see the deception growing under the surface. There are times when God steps back and lets people reveal themselves. Not because He wants you to get hurt, but because He wants the truth to unfold without interference so that when He exposes it, you cannot deny what He shows you. And this is that moment. The curtain you've been staring at for months is finally being pulled aside. The person you kept trying to understand is about to show you exactly who they are. You've been fighting battles you didn't fully understand, reacting to things you couldn't articulate, and carrying burdens you couldn't explain. The confusion you felt wasn't weakness, it was spiritual interference. Someone didn't want you to see what they were hiding. Someone thought they could keep you in the dark by acting a certain way publicly and another way privately. Someone believed their charm could cover their intentions, their confidence could cover their guilt, their smooth words could cover their schemes. But nobody fools God. And when God decides, it ends today, nothing can stop that unraveling. There is a reason you've been feeling that stirring lately, that heaviness leaving your chest, that strange clarity rising in your mind. It wasn't random. God has begun peeling back the layers of every lie spoken to you, every manipulation used against you, every intention wrapped in false kindness. He's been loosening the grip of confusion on your spirit because He is preparing you to see the truth without flinching, without doubting, without second-guessing yourself. The trap that person set for you? They're about to fall into it themselves. The secrets they whispered behind your back. They are being brought to light. The double-minded behavior they used to keep you off balance. God is exposing it piece by piece. For so long you felt something was off, but you didn't want to think the worst. You tried to stay loyal, patient, hopeful. You tried to give them the benefit of the doubt because your heart isn't wired for betrayal. But theirs was. They didn't expect God to intervene. They didn't expect the same walls they built to control you to collapse around them. They didn't expect that you would grow strong enough to walk away emotionally before you walked away physically. They didn't expect their words to return and confront them with the weight of their own intentions. But God knew this moment was coming. God knew you would reach a point where confusion would no longer hold you. He knew the day would come when your discernment would cut through every illusion. He knew that once He opened your eyes, you wouldn't close them again. And that is why today is a turning point. You are stepping out of the fog that person tried to keep you in. You are stepping out of the emotional maze they constructed to keep you dependent on their approval. You are stepping out of the fear they fed, out of the doubt they nurtured, out of the insecurity they benefited from. You are stepping into clarity. And clarity is dangerous to anyone who tried to control you. God is not exposing this person to destroy you. He is exposing them to free you. The truth isn't coming to break your heart, it's coming to break the chain you didn't realize was around it. You're being released from attachments you didn't choose, from expectations you didn't deserve, from emotional manipulation you didn't recognize. God is showing you what was hidden because He is preparing you for something better, something safer, something divine. There's a shift happening around you right now. People who once had influence over your emotions are losing their hold. People who once felt powerful in your life are being moved out of position. People who once felt comfortable lying to you are becoming uncomfortable in their own words. The mask is slipping, not because they want it to, but because God is forcing it to. You're going to notice something changing, not in them first, but in you. The clarity God is giving you is going to make you see their actions differently. You'll start recognizing patterns you once excused. You'll hear the intention behind their words instead of the performance. You'll feel the weight behind their silence instead of assuming the best. You'll begin to understand why certain moments made you uncomfortable, why certain conversations drained you, why certain interactions left you doubting yourself instead of feeling supported. That wasn't love. That wasn't loyalty. That wasn't care. Those were tactics, subtle ones, quiet ones, ones designed to confuse you but not alert you. People think manipulation always looks loud. But the most dangerous type is quiet, gentle, carefully wrapped in concern or softness. It makes you feel guilty for questioning it. It makes you feel like you're the problem for sensing something is wrong. It makes you think you're being too sensitive, too emotional, too paranoid. But God is correcting your vision. He's showing you the very moment the intentions shifted in that person. He's showing you the point where they stopped being sincere and started being strategic. He's showing you the difference between someone who cared for you and someone who wanted something from you. And that's why suddenly, the things that once confused you are starting to make sense. The things you overlooked are beginning to stand out. The things you tolerated no longer sit right with your spirit. You weren't blind, you were merciful. You weren't naive, you were kind. You weren't foolish, you were hopeful. And now God is taking those same qualities and sharpening them so that they work for you instead of against you. Your kindness will no longer be used as leverage by people with selfish intentions. Your hope will no longer be manipulated by someone who pretends to be something they're not. Your mercy will no longer be taken as weakness by someone who thought they could deceive you forever. Their time is up. The truth is coming in waves now. God is showing you not just what they did but why they did it. He is revealing the motive behind the behavior, the insecurity behind the manipulation, the fear behind the lies. People wear masks not because they're strong, but because they're terrified of being seen for who they are. And the moment God begins to shine light on them, that mask begins to crack. You'll notice they're getting nervous. You'll see them becoming inconsistent. You'll watch them stumble over their own explanations. Because when God exposes someone, they can't keep their story straight. Their words contradict. Their attitude shifts. Their excuses weaken. Their confidence falters. The same calmness they once used to mislead you starts turning into agitation. They feel your spirit pulling away, and they don't know how to control it. They feel your discernment rising, and they don't know how to silence it. They feel God's hand on your life, and they know they cannot compete with that. God is removing the blindfold they placed over your heart. He is removing the emotional fog they created with their mixed signals. He is removing the weight they placed on you through their secrecy. You're going to feel lighter, not because the situation changed yet, but because God has begun breaking the spiritual hold they had over your emotions. That's why your heart is gaining strength. That's why your mind feels clearer. That's why your peace is returning. God is preparing you to see the full truth without fear. He's strengthening you so that when the final revelation comes, you don't crumble, you rise. You don't cling, you release. You don't question, you understand. And you don't stay where you were, you move forward with purpose. You think you've already seen everything, but what God is about to reveal will explain all the confusion, all the tension, all the strange doubts you carried inside without proof. God is not revealing this to shame you, He is revealing it to restore you. He is giving you the closure someone tried to deny you. He is giving you the truth someone tried to hide from you. He is giving you the clarity someone hoped you would never have. Because truth is freedom. And God refuses to let you remain tied to someone who cannot walk with you into the next season He's preparing. You didn't lose them, God is removing them. You didn't fail, God is protecting you. You didn't misread the situation, He's confirming what you felt all along. This exposure is not a punishment, it's a rescue. And once the truth fully surfaces, you will look back and realize that God didn't let you be fooled. He let the mask stay on long enough for the real intentions to reveal themselves. The unmasking has begun. There is a point in every spiritual battle where God says, "Enough." And that moment is now. The unraveling has started, and you're going to notice things happening around you that don't make sense at first: relationships shifting, conversations feeling different, people reacting strangely to your presence. That's because truth always disturbs those who rely on deception. Your clarity is unsettling the one who tried to manipulate you. Your strength is threatening the one who thought you would stay confused. Your discernment is exposing what they tried desperately to keep hidden. You may notice them pulling away or suddenly drawing closer. Both are signs of exposure. Pulling away means the mask is too heavy to hold up now. Drawing closer means they feel you slipping out of their grasp and are trying to pull you back before the truth fully rises. But no matter what they do, their actions cannot stop the exposure God has ordered. Nothing hidden can survive the light. For so long, they moved with confidence because they believed you would never question them. They thought you admired them too much, trusted them too deeply, cared too honestly. They misread your heart as weakness and mistook your kindness for gullibility. But what they didn't understand is that your spirit was always listening, always sensing, always discerning, quietly, patiently, without panic or confrontation. You weren't blind. You were gathering understanding. You weren't silent because you accepted their behavior. You were silent because God was dealing with them behind the scenes. He was allowing them enough time to reveal their true nature, enough room to expose their own intentions, enough opportunity to show what they really valued when they believed no one else could see. But God was watching. And now He's revealing everything at once, not slowly, not subtly, but clearly, unmistakably, undeniably. He's uncovering conversations you didn't hear, actions you didn't witness, thoughts they tried to hide. He's exposing every false motive, every secret plan, every calculated move. They thought they were clever, but God lets deception dig its own grave. There's a divine shift happening. God is separating your spirit from theirs. You might feel a sudden emotional detachment you can't explain. A sudden lack of interest. A sudden peace where there used to be anxiety. A sudden strength where there used to be hesitation. That's God removing their influence from your heart. When God unjoins what was never meant to be joined, the soul feels light again. People rarely realize how deeply someone can affect their energy until God breaks the tie. And once He does, you begin to see their true nature with a clarity that almost shocks you. You see the manipulation hidden inside their compliments. You see the selfishness behind their generosity. You see the agenda behind their concern. And suddenly, you're not confused anymore. That's the power of truth. It doesn't come to comfort you, it comes to free you. And sometimes that freedom feels like a slow awakening, like stepping out of a dark room and into sunlight you didn't realize you needed. You begin to understand that the discomfort you felt around them wasn't random, it was spiritual. The heaviness wasn't your imagination, it was the weight of their hidden intentions pressing on your peace. The confusion wasn't weakness, it was your spirit warning you that something wasn't right. You prayed for clarity, and God is answering. You asked for truth, and God is delivering it. You asked for direction, and God is giving you the map. This exposure is God's mercy in motion. He is showing you the true condition of their heart, not to hurt you, but to protect you. Not to punish them, but to release you. Not to break you down, but to pull you out of something that was never built on honesty in the first place. You're going to realize that the person you thought you were dealing with never existed. You were dealing with a version of them they created for convenience, not authenticity. A version they used to gain your trust, your sympathy, your openness. A version they maintained until God started shining light on the cracks. And now the illusion is collapsing. What you're about to see is the real them, the part they tried to hide, the part they prayed you would never discover, the part that reveals exactly why God is removing them from your path. Don't be surprised when the truth comes out suddenly, sharply, or dramatically. Don't be surprised when God removes them faster than you expected. Don't be surprised when their own behavior exposes them in ways they cannot explain or deny. This is not coincidence, this is divine timing. God waited for the perfect moment, the moment when you were strong enough, healed enough, and awake enough to see the truth without falling apart. He waited until your spirit matured, until your inner voice grew louder than their influence, until your heart could withstand the truth that once would have destroyed you. Now you're ready. Now you're steady. Now you can handle the revelation. And the revelation is coming in full force. God is unmasking him, completely, thoroughly, finally. Everything hidden is coming out. Everything disguised is being uncovered. Everything false is being revealed. And once you see it, you will never unsee it. The truth is approaching like a rising tide, slow, powerful, unstoppable. Prepare yourself. And now, as everything comes to its final unveiling, God wants you to understand one thing: this exposure is not the end of your story, it's the beginning of your freedom. You're not stepping into loss, you're stepping into clarity. You're not watching something fall apart, you're watching God remove what was weakening you from the inside. You're not being abandoned, you're being protected. There is no void here, only space being cleared for what is real, what is pure, what is meant, what is God ordained. You may feel conflicted as his mask comes off. You may feel both relief and sadness, both understanding and disbelief. It's normal to mourn the illusion of someone you thought you knew. It's natural to grieve the version of them that lived in your heart. But that grief will not break you. It will teach you. It will cleanse you. It will open your eyes to the deeper truth, that God was saving you from something your heart wasn't ready to recognize on its own. You're going to feel a shift in your spirit in the days ahead. It will feel like the atmosphere around you is changing, like the air you breathe has become lighter. The heaviness that once pressed against your chest will begin to fade. The doubts that once tangled your thoughts will loosen. The worries that once drained your energy will dissolve. That's what happens when God removes someone who was standing in a place of influence they were never meant to occupy. He is detoxing your spirit from their presence. And when God removes what's counterfeit, He prepares you for what's genuine. You're about to understand why He allowed you to wait so long, why He allowed you to wrestle with questions, why He allowed the truth to reveal itself slowly instead of all at once. God wasn't delaying your blessing, He was protecting it. He wasn't withholding clarity, He was timing it. He wasn't ignoring your prayers, He was preparing your heart so the truth wouldn't destroy you, but deliver you. Everything hidden in Him, every intention, every motive, every deception, is surfacing because God knows it's time for you to step into a higher place. A clearer place. A healthier emotional environment. A spiritually grounded atmosphere. You're not being pushed out, you're being lifted out. And once God lifts you, nothing can pull you back down. This exposure is not your defeat, it is your elevation. The person whose mask is falling will try to save face. They may try to twist the story, downplay the truth, rewrite the narrative. They may try to act confused, hurt, defensive, or even overconfident as the truth corners them. But don't engage. Don't fight. Don't defend yourself. Don't try to make them understand what God has already judged. They know exactly what they did. And God knows exactly how to handle them. Your job now is simple: step back and let God finish what He started. This is not your battle to fight. This is not your burden to carry. This is not your responsibility to fix. God is not exposing this person so you can confront them, He's exposing them so you can disconnect from what was secretly draining your spirit. There is no closure they can give you that God hasn't already provided in this revelation. The truth itself is the closure. The exposure itself is the explanation. The unmasking itself is the release. And soon, you will look back and realize how much of your emotional strength was being swallowed by someone who never had the right to hold your heart. You'll see how much time you spent trying to interpret their inconsistencies. You'll understand how much of your peace was being slowly siphoned away by their hidden motives. And you'll realize that God didn't take anything from you, He returned you to yourself. The clearer you become, the stronger you'll feel. The stronger you feel, the more distance you'll naturally place between you and that person. The more distance you place, the more you'll understand that God pulled you away not because He wanted to isolate you, but because He wanted to elevate you. And once God elevates you, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, no one wearing a mask can follow. You're stepping into a new season where discernment guides you, clarity surrounds you, and peace protects you. A season where God's voice becomes louder than anyone's manipulation. A season where your heart is guarded not by walls, but by wisdom. A season where truth is not your enemy, but your shield. You've been fooled long enough. But that ends today. God is unmasking him completely, and this revelation will become the reason you never again settle for half-truths, hidden motives, or disguised intentions. God is preparing you for relationships that are honest, transparent, aligned, and spiritually rooted. He is preparing you for people who don't hide their intentions, who don't play with your emotions, who don't drain your spirit. People who speak truth with clarity and love with purity. The truth God revealed today is not meant to wound you, it is meant to free you for what's coming next. Walk forward. You're not stepping into loneliness, you're stepping into wholeness. You're not stepping into confusion, you're stepping into revelation. You're not stepping into fear, you're stepping into victory. His mask has fallen. But yours? Yours was never a mask. You showed your real heart, your real love, your real intentions. And because of that, God will honor you with something real in return. This is your release. This is your rise. This is your protection. This is your new beginning.